All right, everyone, welcome back. It's good, everybody. Welcome back to the basement, where theology meets the thoughts of life. Let me put the regular screen on here for y'all. What's good, everybody? Welcome. Share and like the video. Let people know that we're on here at facebook.com/Wrath and Grace. That is the page. And the live feed that we're doing here on Wrath and Grace. We definitely welcome you. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you want a group page, the group page is facebook.com/groups/the basement. On there, you can actually be a part of our local community, a hub, where you can actually ask questions proceeding to right before the actual episode goes on. So y'all can join us if you want to. Facebook.com/group/the basement. We do have a website, wrathandgrace.com. You can go there, get all the t-shirts you want, and also conferences and resources. Right now we're posting up videos every Friday of just some theological topics that you can dig into. I'd encourage you to check it. So wrathandgrace.com. Also, we do have an app. Let me see where it's at here, if I could find it. WG Universe, actually, on the App Store. You can go there and check that out too, so you can be on your handheld devices. And one thing that we do here, for those of y'all who are new, we want to interact with your comments on the comment section. So make sure you go on the comment section and ask any questions pertaining to the topic, and we'd love to interact with your comments. What's up, Nick Shepard, Jose Colon Vasquez, Melissa Bolden, and Patrick McKenna? Welcome. I see y'all there. Share and like the video. Let people know what's going on here. And also our Patreon page, patreon.com/thebasement717. That helps us to pay the bills as well. So anyway, what's up, Wayne? What's good?
Yo. We are back in the basement, man. It's a lovely time to be back in the basement. It's nice and cold, so it's nice to be in this basement where it's warm. And we get to chop up some topics that we've been talking about for the last couple weeks. Just so y'all know, at this point for us, podcasting is life. Like, we literally talk about these topics outside of the podcast now, and then we kind of just give y'all the rest of what we talked about on here.
Yeah. What's up, Rayvon? I see you. What's up, brother?
Shout out to y'all. Everybody in the comment section, man. Shout out to all of y'all. So today, we discussed the announcement that Brady Goodwin, who is Phanatik of Cross Movement. If you don't know who Cross Movement is, you need to repent now.
Right. Yeah.
Phanatik of Cross Movement, the announcement that he made recently, admitting that he has left the Christian faith. What are our thoughts on this topic specifically? And then also behind the scenes, we text Brady before we even went live and let him know, hey, we're going to be discussing your video and we don't want to misrepresent you. So what do you have to say? Yeah. And so you text him and you asked him some questions and he gave us some answers. So we're going to be putting it all out there. I don't know if anyone else has that exclusive of contact right now.
Yeah,
at least for their podcast.
Yeah, he might be picky about that too. So I'm glad he was gracious. And
yeah,
you know, I've known Brady throughout the years. He actually came to my house to record some music here, and we've known each other back and forth here throughout the years. Now we were never like really tight like him and Deuce and others were in the crew, but he knew who I was and I knew who he was, and we have some history where we just interacted. We sat down and chopped here and there throughout the years. So I did have his text and just asked him some questions, man, you know, that I think would be relevant to people understanding where he's at.
Yeah.
Right or wrong, or if you disagree or agree, like, you know, it's just where he's at. And I think we should put that out there.
Definitely going to unpack that. So how should we respond to this? How should the church handle this? We're going to talk about this and so much more tonight. So if you're out there, go ahead and share the video. When you share it to your timeline, you know how the algorithms work. You share it to your people get to see what is going on here in the basement where theology meets the thoughts of life. Tonight we are discussing content for episode 107, Unbecoming. I almost got it. Episode 107, Unbecoming a Believer. This is our response to Phanatiks Apostasy. Anyway, go ahead and hit that share button. I have a question for those of you that are on the audience right now. Feel free to answer it. We don't like just coming here with content to share. We like for you to let us know what you're thinking as well. So go ahead and answer that question. I just put it in the comment section. This is how we'll break the ice. My question for the audience and for Los and for me to answer. If a once professing believer falls away, does it mean they were never with us?
Yeah. Want to hear you all in the comment section. What's up, Haps, and everybody on there? Make sure you respond to the question. We love to read your comments on the comment section. Mm-hmm. Good question, Wayne, because there has been, and probably with you as well, and you'll probably share some examples, but we definitely have experiences where we saw a professing believer, and not only a professing believer, right? Yeah. We know people that were in ministry, people that we roll with. I know for me, you know, that's happened. But does it mean that they were never with us? The complicated part about that question is it's a matter of time, right? You can have someone like recently. I had my best friend, my dude. He went through some things in his life, man. Things happen, and now he's at that place where he's just, it's not that he's trying to believe, it's just that he's believing. He's just, you know, drawn to the truth, right?
It's almost like he's crawling back. And I don't mean that in a bad way either,
right?
But like, I know what that's like. I have not been through what he's been through, but what I'm saying is I know what that's like to like, I want to come back. I just gotta
wrestle back. Right,
man.
Yeah. And so it's complicated because we're finite. We only know what's happening today. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So all we got is what people do today, you know, or for the season that they're in. What fruit has happened in their lives that speak of their faith or whatever. There's some people that say they believe, but then they're acting like unbelievers too. So that's kind of like the opposite side to it. But if a professing believer falls away, does it mean they were never with us? I would say no.
Doesn't automatically mean that.
Yeah. It's what they do after the falling away, or, you know, or even being honest, like my friend was, like, he was just honest about where he was at. But it wasn't conclusive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For him, it was where he was at. And so after walking for a little bit, then he's at a different place. And so I think words matter in a situation like that. And I believe that the way Brady clearly said what he said, and knowing what he knows, I would say, if I'm speaking theologically here, that it does mean that he was never with us at that point, because of how strong of language and the precision he used to speak about what you know he said about where he was at. I would say yeah, it sounds like he was never with us then. You know,
and even in the title today, we specifically used, and it's not on there, but it will be whenever we put it on YouTube and things of that nature. This is our response to Phanatiks Apostasy. Right. We said that, right? We both agreed that this would be under the category of apostasy.
Yeah, we're not using that term in a derogatory sense. It's more descriptive, right?
Yes.
So, you know, I told Brady about the podcast. I don't know if he's on, but
by definition.
Yeah, description.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's not meant to be offensive or derogatory. It's just, you know, it's a description of what he said. It's concluding what Brady said clearly in his video.
By definition, he has left the faith. He's like you said,
denouncing it.
No longer claims what he used to claim. And we'll unpack the video a little bit more. But to answer this question right here, I think being in the Reformed faith and even leaning, most of us, towards Calvinism, the first thing that comes to mind is perseverance of the saints and things of that nature. Like, so when this scripture comes up, you know, where, you know, if they left us and they were never really part of us, right? I think that comes up automatically because of our view on falling away, our view on receiving the gospel as true. If you fall away, then that's a strong possibility that you were never truly saved. But I think for the most part, if you're not like a brand new Cade Stagey Christian, Cade Stagey Calvinist, then I would think that you would have the maturity to also know that people do come back after doing something even as drastic as this.
Right.
So he could come back, and the door is always open. At least it should be from the Christian church's perspective. I don't know if the door is always open on God's side, but from the church's perspective, on our end, we should always be ready to have a brother come back.
Yeah.
To receive a brother when he comes back. We shouldn't be like in the parable of the prodigal son, where the son left, and when he came back, his brother had some animosity. Like, hey, he left. I was here the whole time.
Right. Yeah.
So we shouldn't have that, because if he was to come back, how y'all gonna feel about that? Some of y'all.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's happened to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That happened to me. I had my bro, my best friend, my dude, like, he could no longer believe. And honestly, bro, so let me just explain that real quick. I think the way I handled it was I was broken by it. I was, you know, just shocked by it. And I was even scared, because it's like, is this going to really, are we going to part ways now? You know, I was afraid of that. By God's grace, that didn't happen. But here's the complicated thing with Brady, I think, that makes it complicated. He's overtly denouncing, and we're going to talk about his comments.
We can just get right into it, really.
Yeah,
at this point.
So let me say it this way. When you have someone who apostatizes their faith, but then is overtly aggressive against the faith, then there's really no open door there, or like this, like, oh, you know, it's all good. Like, nah, now we're talking about an enemy of the gospel, right? Yeah. So it hits different when somebody's overtly aggressive against the faith. Yeah. And that's what I'm afraid of.
So what were some claims or some statements that he made that would definitely by definition say, yo, this is apostasy? He has left the faith.
Yeah, I asked him, this is not in the
video what he's talking about right now.
Right.
You had texted him privately.
Yes. So
but then also let him know you would share it publicly.
Yes. So he's cool with that. I think, but I didn't send this part because I did ask him for clarity about, you know, his position. He said, I said, would you say that you're now denying Jesus as Lord? And he said, yes, I am not deconstructing my faith in some attempt to rebuild it. I can no longer believe that the Bible is divinely inspired. And so I do not believe its theological claims. I believe that we have been wrong all this time. So he's making it very clear.
Okay. Now, you know that wasn't spelled out in the video, but it was alluded to. It was a 25-minute video that he posted a couple weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago. And he was describing, and he was very hesitant and very careful with his words on how he approached the subject.
It was even hard for him to share it. He paused there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Before he actually
came forth.
Yeah. So, you know, here's the thing, guys. You know, I'm not defending Brady. I'm trying to describe to y'all that for him to be who he was, especially in Christian hip hop circles or just in Christian circles in general, he does feel a sense of loss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure,
That's just real.
For sure.
He feels a sense of loss because this was all he knew.
Yeah.
And that has to be understood. So it's not easy for him to do what he's doing. I think it's wrong, and I think, you know, he needs prayer, right? But what I'm saying is there is that side, that human side of loss, right? Like now his whole identity, his world is changing. Like he's swapping one worldview for another. That's not easy to do.
Which he hasn't revealed, by the way, from the video, at least so far that's been posted. He has not revealed which faith he's in. A lot of people have been in his comment section, on his page, in his messenger box, asking him, yo, if you're no longer a Christian, then what are you holding to?
Yeah.
Like, what did you switch the Christian faith for?
Right.
So that was talked about in the video. He said he held up, I believe at one point he held up the Bible and said, I no longer believe what is in here to be inspired.
Yeah.
So that was another statement that he made that shows that he has apostatized.
Yeah. Serious.
Were there any more statements that you might have wrote down or?
Well, I do have that list I sent you of his responses. You want to get into that?
Oh, what he said?
No, that I'm saying
his response. What do you mean?
What I sent you as far as the text. You want to get into that?
I wanted to unpack the video only a little bit more, but there's some other things in the video because I want it chronologically. If there's things in the video that we can go side by side, but what you text him about.
So you want to go through his video?
Yeah, we can talk about the video. If there's anything that he answered in the text messages that goes right with the, and the reason why we're kind of going back and forth, guys, is because Brady just texted us this today.
Yeah.
So this is brand new. Like this is stuff that has not been put out yet online. So this is all brand new. Yeah,
I can give me a second, guys. I'm gonna pull up his video, and then Wayne, you're gonna have to guide me through the video.
Oh.
I mean, it's a 24-minute jaunt. So how do you want to do this?
I don't. Yeah, don't do that.
No
don't
video.
Do that. No.
Okay, no.
I don't want to. You know why? I feel like there's too many reaction videos anyway.
Right.
I didn't think we were gonna do a reaction video.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay, cool. We could do that. So, yeah.
Some things that he said that I guess you could say, because we can just go right through it.
Okay, well, he texts back.
Well,
Q&A.
Like, I want to talk about my immediate response to the video.
Okay, let's do that.
My immediate response to the video was like, I was thrown off, not because I was surprised, because we already knew that he was making some changes behind the scenes.
Yeah, we knew before it was made public.
Yeah,
that this was gonna happen. So
there were things that were being talked about. There were some rumblings behind the scenes. People were messaging us, "Yo, did you hear about this? Oh man, we gotta be praying."
Yeah, so he actually told his church, it's in the video, that he withdrew his membership, but also his identification and membership with the body.
Yeah,
with the church.
Yeah.
So he not only removed his membership, he said he's removing himself from believing. Yeah. And his church got wind of that first. Yeah. Because he was a member at Risen Christ Fellowship.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's definitely something that was in the video. He let people know, look, I'm no longer, not only am I not a member of this local church, but the universal church I'm no longer a part of.
Right.
That was another statement that was made in the video that shows, it proves why we keep on saying it was apostasy.
Yeah.
This is apostasy. Yeah. By definition.
Yeah.
He says, I'm no longer where I was at. That was something else he said. Where I was before, I'm no longer there. And he started seeing the shift in 2014, he mentioned. Mm-hmm. He said 2014. And if you guys go back to 2014, the political climate at that point was so tense when it came to racial issues, social justice. There was a lot of things. Like Obama was on his way out of office. He was halfway through his second term in 2014. I don't know if you remember them, but at that point, there was many black people that were standing up and saying, Obama should be out of office. We don't know why he got voted in. There was many people that were regretting voting for Obama because of what was going on, and they started to see some things. I'm not saying I was either way. I'm telling you how crazy it was at that time. It was police brutality being dealt with. There was, the Trayvon, not the same year, but I'm just saying all in the same time period. And he found himself, like he said, he found himself on the other side of where his Christian friends were. Where all his Christian friends were on this side, he felt himself, I don't agree with y'all. I feel this way. I've dealt with it this way. And so imagine 2014 on. We talked about it many times in the basement where the church is so split up with politics. Imagine people that you've walked with, done ministry with, and now you can't even agree over how politics are being handled. 2014 was also the year that he went to seminary, and he said he started to have doubts. What's crazy is Ambassador made a response video and said, what y'all don't know is he was having these doubts before 2014. He said pretty much, I don't want to read into it, but this is what he was alluding to. This is what he was saying was Brady had doubts already when he went to seminary. Now Brady responded and said, I never said that. But Ambassador then responded again and said, yeah, I know you didn't say that in the video. My bad. I shouldn't have said that. But I was only responding to what me and you talked about in real life. So apparently there's more things that Brady will reveal. Maybe he wasn't ready to announce to the public that he was having doubts in 2014 or before then. I don't know. Because again, the video wasn't very detailed. But anyway, I think we pretty much dealt with a lot of the statements that were made in the video. My first thoughts on it, my initial thoughts were, wow, this is not new. I just was surprised in how he worded things. I thought he was going to be a little bit more descriptive on where he was at. He didn't do that. But he is drawing this out. This is some type of sale tactic. Like, he's selling books. And I think he's kind of admitted, like, I'm trying to get y'all ready for this conversation that we're about to have. Yeah. He used the word promote, advertise. So some part of the Christian community feels like Brady is using his Christian fan base to sell books. I'm saying this because it's being said. That's what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with a lot of claims being thrown out there. I'm glad we didn't immediately go live and talk about it.
Yeah.
Because, man, we've been able to sit back, reflect on it. We was even able to reach out to Phanatik and ask him some things. So go ahead, man. Go ahead. I know you wanted to read those off.
No, it's all good.
This is some good stuff.
I think the points you're making are good, man, because you're talking about like these questions people have. Like it's interesting how the community responded. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that we took our time and that things happened so that we had to take our time too. But you know what I'm saying? I think there's wisdom in that. You know, it's that reaction type, that can be misleading. But can we define apostasy real quick? I know we have that in the point. I don't know if you want to get into that later. Yeah. But I did look it up just so that we can agree on a term. Apostasy is a public denial of a previously held religious belief and a distancing from the community that holds to it. So there's this public denouncement of it, denial of it, but also someone removing themselves from the community of that belief. That's exactly what he's doing. Yeah. So it's not, again, a derogatory term. It's descriptive of what Brady's doing or has done, right? And so
that's good.
So yeah, bro, if Brady's watching or if he's gonna watch this later, I don't know, but just in case, bro, we're not saying this we're saying in a descriptive way to be respectful. But first question we asked Brady real quick. What I'm gonna do, let me copy and paste this question. Or you know what? I'm not going to do that because then y'all respond. But the first question was, what do you believe is the biggest misunderstanding people have of you right now? So we had, that was your question.
That was my question. I did want to know that because he had already reached out to the Facebook community and let people know, look, I don't like the way y'all talking about me. And I'm about to fix y'all up. That's pretty much what he was saying was, stop playing with my name. Yeah. Like Birdman on the Breakfast Club. I ain't gonna say it no more. Right. Put some respect on my name. He was saying that people were twisting his words and alluding to things that he never even said.
All right. Yeah, so he actually shared appreciation for our approach. He said thanks for that. But he said this. He says to the question, what do you believe is the biggest misunderstanding people have of you right now? He says that I'm relying on intellect and wanting to pry into divine mysteries, and that my inability to get certain answers has caused me to doubt. On the contrary, he says, it is the revealed things, not the unrevealed, that has caused me to repossess my belief from the Bible.
Yeah. The reason why that's important to highlight right now is because a lot of people are automatically assuming, hey man, Brady, you know why he left the faith? It's because he's not content with what the scriptures leave as mystery. Because he's not content where we don't have absolute detail, now he's choosing not to believe in the Bible. No, he's not saying that. At least if we go by his words, he's saying it's not the secret will of God that I am questioning or falling away from the faith because of.
It's the revealed
things of God that have got me to this point. Looking at the scriptures, breaking down the scriptures. In his video, he said he got to a point with the Bible where he said, if I read one more thing in the scriptures that makes me feel like I can't trust it, I'm done with it. And so he fell back from the Bible. Now, I do want to emphasize a little bit. Ambassador went as far to say from Brady's video, Brady said that he didn't hear the word of God for 5 years. You know what that can do to a person? 5 years without the word, and he starts going in. And I love his preaching, by the way. I do love his preaching.
Yeah.
But
we should have him come through the church.
Yes, that would be dope.
Yeah.
But I do want to be fair. Brady didn't say he didn't hear the word of God for 5 years. He didn't say he didn't open his Bible for 5 years. He didn't say he was without the word of God for 5 years. He said in the video that he was still going to church. He was still in fellowship groups. He would still do daily devotionals. He would have regular conversations with people about the scripture. He said he didn't dive deep into the Bible because he was scared. The more he read, the more he would start to disbelieve what the scripture said. He would find contradictions or things that don't make any sense.
But then he did dive in.
But then, he did for 5 years. He stayed away from diving deep. And then finally, because he was so scared, he said, I don't want to read this and fall away. I don't want it to get to that point. Yeah. But when he finally did, he said that at that point he realized this ain't. I no longer hold. I think that's when he held up the Bible or whatever and said, that's when he realized he no longer holds to the claims that are in this Bible.
Yeah.
So the reason why I highlight that is because of what Brady said to you was, it's not the secret things of God that made him leave the faith. It was the revealed things that we find in the scriptures that made him leave the faith.
By revealed, he means the contradictions.
Yeah.
The things he couldn't do the math on, right? And so, while he could do the math according to what he's saying, he's just saying that it equals into, like he said in the video, a contradiction, So that's what he said, y'all. That was the first question we asked. The second question we asked him, have you seen any of the reaction videos? If so, what is your conclusion as to how people have responded? I thought that would be a good question because let's just hear from him. You know what I'm saying? About everything that's being said.
Because he sees it. Go ahead.
No. I was just looking at the comment section.
I started giving you what he's seen what's going on online. He sees what's being said about him. And he did want to respond to that.
Yeah.
What did he say to
So he said, I've only watched the reaction videos from my crew in full, meaning probably Deuce and Tonic. I've seen about 20 minutes or so of a few others. It's funny. My words are not the words of God, but people are doing to my statements the very thing that they accuse me of doing to the Bible, i.e. using their own understanding in the absence of the deeper information they desire, and taking things out of context to fit their impression of what they think is going on. So that's what he said.
So he sees even the backwardness of the people responding to his video. He doesn't get shaken by the secret things of God. It was the revealed things of God. And so he feels like people are looking into his video way too much. The same way that they're claiming that Phanatik is looking too deep into things, right, and looking at it with the wrong view. He's saying they're doing what they're claiming he's doing.
Yeah.
That's his response to what's going on right now.
Yeah. Just real quick, I want to respond to some of the people in the comment section. So the question earlier that Wayne asked about if a once professing believer falls away, does it mean they were never of us? Jose Colon Vasquez says, I don't believe so. Everyone has trials and tribulations specifically meant for them. The enemy is strong at work all the time to get people to separate from God. And so we appreciate that. My wife says, what I've heard the most, we saw it coming. And she's talking about some of the posts that Brady had before.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, where did he go to seminary? I think somebody already answered that in the comment section. But Garrett says, I'm sorry, were you going to say something, bro?
I was going to say, for the most part, everybody seemed to be on the same page. Right. It's definitely a maybe that a person was never really saved if they fall away from the faith. But it's not out of the realm of possibility that they really are saved and they could come back. I think everybody in the comment section pretty much agree with that. And a lot of them came to the same conclusion you did, that you spelled out, which is this may spell trouble. This may mean that he never really was of the faith because of the stuff that he's saying.
Right.
So
right.
Garrett said something interesting, though.
Yeah, he says salvation is not only believing the Bible, but the Lord revealing himself to someone. If he, Christ, was never truly revealed to anyone, perhaps it's better for someone to not fake the funk. The condition is sad and absolute apostasy, but at least it's authentic. And I think that's what Brady is trying to communicate.
Yeah. Andrew Rush says, and he was where did he go? Well, we said he went to Westminster in Philly. He also graduated from LBC, Lancaster Bible College.
I think he did, yeah. I think so.
And
I'm not sure about that.
Andrew also asked, was he attending Risen Christ Fellowship, where Shai and Brian Davis were pastors? And yes, that's actually where he withdrew his membership from.
Yeah.
So he was there most recently.
Yeah.
That's where he was, apparently, I guess, whenever that 5-year span happened. Yeah. Where he,
And listen, this is hurting a lot of people close to him, man.
Wow, look at what John says. I was backsliding for about 17 years. John, let me ask you this. How far did you go in your backslidden state? Did you go as far to say Christ is not Lord? Did you make blasphemous statements where you started to curse him? Like,
that's a good question.
I'm just curious. How far did you go? Like, when you say you were backslidden, was it just sin that you were in, or were you going as far to say
you don't believe this anymore
and attacking the Christian faith?
Right. Good question. Yeah. While he's answering that, let me read the third question we asked Brady. This is the third question. Would you say that you are wanting to convince Christians that the scriptures are not what they believe it to be? So I asked that because that was my concern. And, I communicated through a thread. I told Brady through the thread that, that if you do come against the faith in a sense, just know that it's out of love that we defend it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, this is what he said. I'll read the question again. Would you say that you are wanting to convince Christians that the scriptures are not what they believe it to be? He says, convince Christians? No. Prepare and provide? Yes. I want to prepare those I care about for a conversation that is coming down the pike and provide them with perspective that might be the minority report. I personally believe that many Bible teachers are too committed to their careers and the Christian community to rock the boat and say that they really know and to say what they really know and believe. A few have even told me as much. I, on the other hand, really don't care what I might lose by saying what the case seems to be and actuality. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'd rather live in reality than in the fear of it, he says.
Yeah. So I think that kind of echoes what Garrett was getting at, where he wants to live his truth. I know that sounds funny, but he wants to live in a way that is true with his convictions. Yeah. And he's gotten to the point, and this is on top of all of the conversations that he's had with seminary professors, many of them being Christian, he said, that feel the same way but are too scared to even admit it.
That's scary, bro. You know how that you could have a professor teaching you the scriptures that actually not believing? Like, yeah. That's
he even went further in that statement, and in his video too. Not only do they believe these things, but they're scared to say them. And guess what? I'ma say them now.
Yeah,
I'ma point them out. They won't say it. I'ma write it in my book. I wonder if he's gonna use names.
No, I don't think he'll do that. Of people that
but then
feel like that, but don't put it out in public.
But then there's gonna be some that say, if there's no names, how can we believe that these are actually professors' statements?
Yeah, he's just going to have to deal with that. I don't think Brady's going to do that, but I'd be surprised if he did. I mean, he probably could get sued for that, too.
Maybe he asked them beforehand. I don't know. I don't know. Everyone's speculating at this point. Yeah. But I'm just telling you, if he doesn't use names, what people are going to start to say.
Yeah.
There's going to be some people that say, we don't know who actually said this. It could have just been Brady with all of these contradictions that he's pointing out. And he says, though, these things are going to happen soon. Meaning he's blowing the whistle before the situation happens. Like, I'm letting y'all know what I'm discussing in this book in the next, maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
They're going to be bringing these things up and y'all are going to have to deal with it. Was there one more statement that he made?
There was.
Because that was powerful right there. Him saying that part right there about, I'm preparing them, he said.
What was the word? And providing.
Preparing and providing.
But I got questions about that.
Yes. That sounds a little apologetic.
Yeah, so, that's the thing. If he's going to be overtly against the faith and be public and pick it apart or whatever, then, I think I'm obligated as a believer, right?
Yeah.
And, I'm always obligated to defend the gospel, but, just because there's contact, I can go against what he says, and I think I do feel a sense of obligation to do it.
Yeah.
Because under the Christian hip-hop community that I've been a part of, for a very long time, some voices have to come out and say, nah, I don't know about that, and kind of rebut some of the things he says. And, the scriptures do talk about opposing that we should be gentle with our opponents too. So, yeah. I think that I'm concerned with some people's responses to this too.
What do you mean by that? You're concerned
just in the process of trying to defend the faith, that they sin in the process of doing so, maybe calling him names or saying, using abusive language or misrepresenting him. That's a sin.
Yeah.
We should work hard to represent exactly his position. I know he's being somewhat ambiguous and slow on defining what that is exactly, but that's why we should wait. But if he jumps on a thread or says something public, it's subject to public scrutiny. You know what I'm saying?
I think he's ready for that. I think that's why he waited until now, because I think he is ready for that. I think he knows what's going to happen too. He's been in the community long enough. He was part of it, so he knows.
Yeah.
Same way that I think that Paul knew what would happen when he preached the gospel. He knew what it was like to be on the other side of things. He knew what the majority would do to him for preaching something that is in the minority. And I say that because I would say those in the Christian community are in the majority. Him going against the Christian faith, that puts him in the minority. At least in his realm of apologetics. Because it sounds like providing is going to be more in the apologetic sense, whatever faith he's in.
Yeah.
I will say this. I know we brought up just concern about Christians sinning because of the way that they're responding to it in a unloving way, ungentle way. I'm also concerned for the Christians that are responding in other ways, which like the soft way.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong with being soft, but whenever you care more about not offending that person or being friends or maintaining a friendship because you don't want to tell them the truth, or you just kind of give them a pass because of what they've done in the past as a Christian, and now they're no longer a Christian, and you're like, well, they're a staple. They're a legend in this realm. I can't say nothing like that to him. I feel like some of these people are in his comment section a little bit starstruck. I don't know if they, them, and I'm sure people would say opposite to that. But I do sense Christians going too far with their statements, and I feel like some Christians aren't going far enough either. There was one more question that you asked him.
Yeah, I did ask him one more, and it was, how can we as believers love on you in this time? And his answer was, be just a little patient. Stop suspecting my motives. If you're not able to guard your heart while keeping an open mind, and to hear some things that might challenge your faith, please disengage. Then he said, thank you for this opportunity. So that's his response, man. He, he's asking for patience, which is difficult. I know. Suspecting his motives, I know that's also difficult too. I think what makes that difficult, if I could tell Brady one thing, it's difficult when you're very public about what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? Like, Facebook is a bad place to actually assert motives. You know what I'm saying? It is. It's difficult. But with the situation like this, yeah, it's difficult because some things could be like, yeah, that's exactly what he means. This is exactly why he did what he did. And so it's going to be difficult to navigate through. Definitely going to be difficult.
Yeah.
So we thank y'all for the responses. Let me look at some of these here. Let's see. So Gordon asked earlier, does he plan on speaking about the contradictions? I think he is.
Yeah, I think this book is going to be covering that right there.
I think he is. I'm not sure specifically, but I think he is. Andrew Rush says, always think subconsciously. I think these things only happen at bad churches, but I know guys at RCF love Jesus and have good theology. That's a wake up, he says. Yeah, very true. John Happel, I think, was responding. He says, sin. I knew Jesus is Lord, and if someone asked me while he was backslidden, I would tell them that if they would ask him about Jesus being Lord, he said, I would tell them that Jesus is Lord, but that I'm not following him. And so
Kobe said, folks thought it was bad when Flame went Lutheran. That was nothing compared to this.
Yo,
see, you bring up a really good point right now, because that's a larger topic right now, where you have Christian hip hop artists surprising people with some of the things that are happening. Flame going from Reformed Baptist, he claimed today, I saw him say he used to be Reformed Baptist. Now he's Lutheran. That was a big deal. A lot of Christian hip hop artists are just leaving the faith altogether as well. A lot of them have become Black Hebrew Israelites. Some of them have gone as far as to get involved in Judaism. So to see Christian hip hop artists switching faiths is a very normal thing right now. It's a very common problem.
Yeah.
And so this kind of falls under that umbrella. Some just leave the faith altogether. Some go and live the full gay lifestyle and say F God and F all you Christians. Some are more compassionate, which I feel like Brady is compassionate towards the Christian faith. But like Ambassador said, and I want to say this respect right now, but that's right now he seems to be compassionate. That's right now that he seems to be humble. That's right now that he seems to be still loving towards those that he doesn't agree with anymore. We don't know how this will play out. I hope that it plays out compassionately. Kobe said, do y'all think it's because the ones who are touring and recording a lot just aren't grounded in church?
I have seen that.
Absolutely.
Throughout the years, I have seen cats not connected to a local church, and they lived some crazy way, and they have big platforms. I remember going to shows in Philly, even being a part of shows back in the day, and I would ask people, hey, what church do you attend? And they were like, oh,
I'm part of the Big C church.
Yeah, like I'm still looking. And for the cats that was still looking, I would ask like a year later, yo, what, you find a church? Nah, it's just been hard. It's like, yo, but you're on stage proclaiming Christ, and you're going to other churches that are inviting you. And then the preceding question was like, for me, I was thinking, how do they approve you to go to their churches if you're not locked in? Like,
yeah,
I always ask that question when we dealt with artists and invite them over. I would ask them, what church are you a part of? Could your pastor vouch for you?
So here's my thoughts on that. I was talking to my guy Ray, who does Christian hip hop as well. I was giving him my thoughts on this whole thing with Christian hip hop artists falling off, and is it because they're not grounded in church? Absolutely, I think that's a big factor. And here's some more thoughts on that. Think about because I did Christian hip hop for a little bit, and I realized at some point I would have to leave where I was at and go on the road full time if I ever wanted to do this for real. And I kept on weighing it out. Do I want to do that? Could I do that? I got a family. Then I got married, multiple kids. I said, this can't.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
Sustainable.
Then I got part of a church that I play a role in. I can't do. How can I do that? Here's the thing about it though. When you're a Christian hip hop artist, you go where the money is. That's not because you're chasing money. I mean, it could be, but it's because that's where the money is. Think about the difference between a Christian hip hop artist and a gospel artist. What does a gospel artist have that a Christian hip hop artist doesn't have? Stable income. A lot of times they have stable income. How do they have stable income? Who gets paid on Sunday, y'all? Worship team.
Right, yeah.
When was the last time you saw a Christian hip hop artist every Sunday do songs during worship? Never.
Right.
But guess what? The singers, they have stable income. So not only is it easier for them to be part of the local church consistently, but if they want their money, they better stay connected to that church, because they're going to have to sing every Sunday. And guess what comes every Sunday? Nice little check.
That's true.
Christian hip hop artists don't have that. They got to go where the money is. I might have to go to and do a little West Coast tour and then come back to the East Coast in a couple months. I'm going to be connected with the Big C church, but not the Little C church.
There's a way to do it. I mean,
there is, but is there?
Yeah.
To the extent, like, is it a normal thing? No, you have to be somebody like Flame. You got to be somebody that kind of already has money or a large fan base, and that can happen. You can have a large fan base and still be connected to the local church.
It's difficult though.
I'm just saying that a lot of the reason why you see these guys fall off is because they go that route.
But that's not the case with Brady, right? So Brady was connected. He was a member. He was around.
But he wasn't connect. I mean, he wasn't active in the Christian hip hop community during this time either.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, is clearing up the air to the question that was asked somewhere in the thread. But Yeah, it wasn't because he wasn't grounded at a church. He was looking at the scripture and coming up with doubts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he was in the church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was a member of a church.
Yes.
So,
and I agree with what y'all are talking about in the comment section. CHH, CMM are industries. Gordon says, KB said it well. You can build a Christian empire without God. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kobe says, I also think that some of the ones that are in church have people in their lives that might be intimidated by them and scared to check them when needed, like they're starstruck or something, which we were just talking about.
Right.
Brandon says, honestly, that's why I couldn't be a CHH artist. You virtually have the same temptations as regular artists. Knowing my struggles, I just couldn't do it. Yeah. My Ray, he went to South by Southwest, this Christian concert. He said that when he went down there to Texas, he said that he couldn't believe what was going on behind the stage. And then the next second, that Christian artist would go on stage, do what they're doing. And he said after the show was all over, everybody said, yo, let's go party afterwards.
That's wild.
Obviously, he couldn't go with them, but he said like people would ask him after the show, yo, we finna hit the club. You good? Let's roll together.
Yeah.
That's a Christian hip hop tour.
But so you can almost tie that into the seminary professor, right? He's not clubbing, go out there and doing that. But if he's in, it's crazy to think that they could be in unbelief.
Yes,
teaching just theological things in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So like the local church, man, I think it's harder. Let me put it that way, because Brady was a part of a local church. I'm gonna say it's harder to fake it when you're in community. And I think that might have even helped Brady to actually come out in public, maybe, because when you're there and you're doing the sacraments, that's why I think they're important to do weekly. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about the cup and the bread, it brings you back to that realization of why we're Christian. You know what I'm saying? So think about it. Think about someone who no longer believes what they believe being there every week. You know what I'm saying? Like the gravity of it, the weight of it. And then also, I think that, I think that's a dope example of the importance of the bread and the cup every week. It brings you like that to that realization. Do you believe? And if you don't partake.
I love that we do that every week.
You know what I mean?
Church.
Think about that. Like, what if Brady was attending the church? And I think they do that at Risen Christ.
Yeah.
But that weekly observance of the sacraments, like you have to legit like think about your salvation. Think about your standing with God. And if somebody has any ounce of integrity, they won't go up. And then the body sees he's not going up. You know what I'm saying? So then there's a response in the local church. The question, why? And that's the big weight, the big question mark. It's almost like those light bulbs that come up. You know what I'm saying? Those animated light bulbs. Well, a question mark comes up on you when you're not going up and partaking. Yeah. It puts you on the spot. And I think that's bro, I think that's sanctifying. I think that's God glorifying too. Yeah. For the body, you know what I'm saying? And especially for someone who's reached to that point that they no longer believe. I believe the sacraments, man, deal with that at the end, man. We do it at the end. I think Risen Christ does it in the middle. Yeah. But at any time in the service when you're doing that, it definitely puts you on blast. It really does. And now I'm seeing it like, wow, like that is a moment of introspection, of understanding the gospel again, revisiting things in your heart, examining all that. But if you know you're not of the faith anymore, you don't believe, you're not, well, if you have integrity, you won't go up. But even when you do go up, because you feel peer pressure, you don't want people to know, the sense of hypocrisy and the sense of, I can see Brady be like, nah, I can't rock with that. I can't rock with that anymore. And so that's why I think the local church is important. It's harder to fake it when you're involved in a local church. So
now that's good. That's good. We've been in this season of The Basement, season 6. I don't want to sound all spiritual. In this season, no, literally in this season 6 of The Basement, we've been in the book of Galatians. And somehow every episode, we always go back to Galatians. Well, I would like to look at Galatians chapter 1, verses 11 and 12. This is Paul speaking to the Galatians who have been bewitched. He said, I want you to know, brothers, and they've been bewitched by a false gospel. That's what he claims. They've been bewitched by a gospel that is not really the gospel. There's only one true gospel, and what they have come to believe is not the gospel. This is what he says, Galatians 1, 11 and 12. I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that the gospel I preached is not of human origin. I did not receive it from any man, nor was I taught it. Rather, I received it by revelation from Jesus Christ. What convinced Paul the most was not how beautiful the gospel message is. It was not how lovely the church is. It was not how compassionate they can be towards one another. It was because he knew without a shadow of a doubt what he was believing in was direct revelation from Jesus Christ. He was convinced that the gospel that he preached had nothing to do with humanity, but had everything to do with divine origins. Brady came to that point where he didn't believe that anymore. But I will say this, and something our ambassador said. Brady, you know what it's like to drink of the Lord. You really tasted that. That wasn't something that you made up. You really experienced that. When you go back and think about it, you were genuine. You were not faking that. You really believe these things. You were convinced. But what happened? Somehow along the way, you didn't believe that this gospel that was preached to you and that you preached to others was from Jesus. You believed it to be of human origin. And that's what it comes down to. Do you believe this gospel, this Bible, these truths, this Christian faith is from Jesus? Or do you believe it's from man? And that music was a really dramatic drop off right there.
That's good. Good way to.
You have any concluding thoughts on this?
I think that was right, man. I think, yeah. The only thing I'll add, bro, is to Brady. You're gonna be in my prayers, man. We might oppose each other because of where we stand, and but I want you to know I've had a personal friend of mine who I love dearly who left the faith. I continue to love on him. I continue to be there for him, and I'm hoping, just as I've seen him draw close to God, I'm believing that in due time, bro, that you'll come to that same place. So
yeah, this was not a way to expose anybody. This was not a way to point fingers at anybody. We said from the beginning, and if we didn't spell it out clearly, this was meant to be pastoral.
Yeah,
this was not a way to put Phanatik out there and make him feel some type of way, or to even jump on the bandwagon that's happening right now, because it is happening.
Yeah, this hurts. It's confusing at times. It's Heaven's Mentality was one of my favorite albums.
Yo, oh my
Whose
gosh.
Demand was the track on there. Bang that, like that.
Don't get me started.
Listen, yeah.
Don't get me
Look at
started.
all the time men are wasting, dying for lack of this information. And like that joint on Christology. That was one of my favorite hooks that Brady did.
Yeah.
I'm saddened by it. It hurts.
Oh my gosh. One of my favorite books was written by him.
Yeah.
The Death of Marriage, Hip Hop, and Morals.
Right.
I might have mixed that title up a little bit, but y'all know what I'm saying.
Right.
It was if you've read the book, then you know what I'm saying. That book opened my eyes to so much. And actually, I saw him. He was speaking at, so our church was on Market Street here in Lancaster, He was at that next building over, the one that we were going to rent from LBC. He was there, guest speaking, talking on issues like this right here. And I waited in line. I bought a few books and waited in line. I had to wait in line to ask him a question. I waited. I got to the front of the line and I said, yo, this was in 2000. This is crazy. You're not going to believe this. This was in 2016. So this was in the middle of all of that. Maybe 2016, I think early 2017. Right in the middle of him doubting. I said, Brady, I called him Phanatik. I said, how, with contradictions in the Bible, with all the blood that Christianity that has been spilled under the Christian flag, all of the things that people throw at the Christian name, how can you still be a believer? How can you still hold to these things? And he said, you have to go back to the scriptures and ask yourself, is this real? Do you really believe these things? He said, there's enough proof. There's enough evidence to believe these things. Do you believe them? It doesn't matter what people say. Do you? And he said that to me in the middle of him doubting. I didn't even tell you this before we went live or anything. I'll never forget those words. I thanked him for his time. As I was walking away, there was more people asking him questions. I said, I got another question. I went to the back of the line and I waited all the way till I got to the front of the line and asked him again. I asked him a few questions that day and we talked. I want to say he stayed at least 20 minutes with me and the group of people that came with me as I was asking him questions. I waited till everybody left though, so I could do that. So I could be like, nah, I just need some, some one-on-one time with him right now. But he was more than gracious with his time. He signed all the books. I still got it at the crib, a few books. Gordon, I gave one of the books too. But I'll never forget that, man. I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Lord, do your will.
Yeah.
Let your will be done. We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know the secret things of God.
Right.
We don't.
So keep Brady in prayer. We're definitely going to do that here. And we thank y'all for joining us here at the basement where theology meets the thoughts of life. Hopefully we said something that was encouraging to you. We know a lot's been said about this topic, but I think this was a good discussion. Wayne, thanks for putting that outline together and guiding us through this. It was dope.
Yeah, man, this was good, y'all. Episode 107 of The Basement, where theology meets the thoughts of life. Unbecoming a believer.
Yeah,
this was great, y'all.
That's what it is. So make sure you support patreon.com/thebasement717. We definitely appreciate your support and your prayers. We need it. Me and Wayne need it in the season. Please pray for us.
Oh my gosh.
And with everything going on. But we're appreciative of all the support and love and everything that God's been doing. Facebook.com/group/the basement is the group page. So make sure you go on there and be a part of that. And let us know there what we can do better, man. We're open to, this platform changing or whatever. We're just kind of like, I've been exploring change. Like, what can we do new? And so I wanted to run by.
You want to deconstruct our social media experience?
Deconstruct the basement. So like that's good. I like that. But Facebook.com/group/the basement.
Deconstruct the basement.
Yeah. There you go. wrathandgrace.com is our website, so make sure you go on the website and check it for all the things that we have there. And also the app, WG Universe is the app that we have on the App Store. We appreciate you guys. We definitely are wanting to continue to do this, continue to pray for us in our church, all the stuff that God is doing. We appreciate the Lord's sovereignty and his care over our lives. And so again, share and like the video, let people know what's going on here. Hopefully this is helpful for folks to listen. Brady, thank you for allowing us to do a Q&A with you. We appreciate that. And hopefully we'll see what God will do next with this whole thing.
Yes. God bless y'all.
All right, y'all. Grace and peace.
Appreciate y'all in the comment section, man. Y'all the real MVPs.
Yeah.